All right, welcome again to everybody. We are getting through all these group presentations. We've got group 9, which is Courtney, Haley, and Ashley here. They're going to be talking about HIPAA. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time on over to you, and you can take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. Our topic is on HIPAA, and my name is Courtney Messner, and I will be joined by Ashley Ortega and Haley Banner. Next slide. So to start us off, let's discuss what is HIPAA. We have all heard of it in healthcare settings, but do we know what it stands for? HIPAA stands for the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. This act was passed by Congress in 1996. HIPAA was created to help reduce the amount of healthcare abuse and fraud. Within the HIPAA Act, it requires the confidentiality of health information. HIPAA also allows individuals to access their own information on the care they received or their past medical history. So who is affected by HIPAA? Health plans, health care providers, and any HIPAA-covered entity has to follow HIPAA to protect the confidentiality of patients or clients. Next slide. HIPAA was primarily made to provide and protect patient privacy. Patient's information is protected outside of the patient's care. This means that people outside of the patient's care, providers, nurses, doctors, surgeons, and so on, is protected. Healthcare providers are not authorized to discuss the patient's medical care with friends, family, or other colleagues unless given written permission. But if you are in a treatment room with your friend or family member, your doctor is allowed to discuss your medical care because you allowed them in the room. If dealing with a minor under the age of 18, healthcare providers are authorized to talk to legal guardians. If you wish your information not to be shared with nurses or other physicians, you need to specify. Not wanting your health issues being discussed with other doctors or nurses, it could compromise your treatment options. There are cases when the doctor does not have to agree if it severely interferes with your treatment. Next slide. What exact information are we talking about when we discuss patient information? Anything that can individually identify an individual is what HIPAA is protecting. PHI, or protected health information, includes an individual's name, address, birth date, social security number, physical or mental conditions, or any care that has been provided to the patient involving past, present, or future, including any provisions of health care to that individual. Also, past, present, or future payment is protected. Next slide.
Hello, my name is Ashley Ortega, and I'm going to be talking about the P in portability, which is in HIPAA. So what does portability mean? It refers to how easily something can be moved from one place to another. And in regards to healthcare, and more specifically HIPAA, it refers to an employee being able to maintain access to health insurance coverage and certain benefits after leaving a job or moving jobs, such as getting fired or quitting. They are able to switch from an individual plan to a group plan to an individual, and a group plan to another group plan. Individual market health plans do not apply in this situation of moving jobs, but some states do require individual health insurers to give credit for prior continuous creditable coverage. However, portability also refers to the ability of someone who purchases insurance on their own to be able to switch from one insurance plan to another. Unfortunately, most states allow insurers to impose benefit exclusions on individuals with pre-existing conditions, and they can even deny coverage. Next slide. When a person moves from an individual plan to a group plan, they can't be denied coverage or face pre-existing condition exclusions if their prior coverage was creditable and continuous. Creditable coverage is one that was through an individual health plan, a group health plan, COBRA, a federal or state employee health plan, an HMO plan, Medicaid and Medicare, and a few others that are mentioned. Continuous coverage refers to not having a lapse in coverage for more than 63 days in a row, although some states do vary in the amount of days allowed for a lapse in coverage. Next slide. In order to switch from a group plan to the individual market, a person must be federally eligible or HIPAA eligible. In order to qualify, they must have at least 18 months of prior health care coverage and be enrolled in a group health plan on the last day of their coverage. Also, they must have enrolled in and then exhausted their COBRA or state-based continuation benefits. More importantly, HIPAA-eligible individuals can't enroll in group plans or Medicare. They also face high premiums because of the lack of federal limitations on the amount insurers can charge. Next slide. Lastly, we have group-to-group health plan portability. Individuals are guaranteed access to coverage when they lose a job or their employer-sponsored insurance, even with a pre-existing condition. In order for this to happen, their prior coverage had to be creditable and, for most states, not have a lapse period of more than 63 days. Next slide.
Hey, Ashley, sorry. I think you got remuted again. If you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and start all over.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Hello, my name is Haley Banner. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the Consolidated Omnibus Reconciliation Act. It's going a little bit deeper into the portability of insurance. What it is it's an act that gives workers and their families who lose health benefits the right to choose to continue their health benefits provided by their group health plan for a limited amount of time and under certain circumstances. This generally requires their health plans that different employers offer the opportunity of extension of health coverage in which otherwise it would end. So when there's companies that have more than 20 employees, the health plans that they choose must offer extension of coverage when these circumstances go underway. It also requires employers and plans to provide notice, especially if it's a job ending involuntarily. And qualified individuals may have to pay their entire premium of their plan up to 102% of the cost of the plan. Next slide. So there's a couple of circumstances in which COBRA can be resourced. Voluntary or involuntary job loss, in which if someone leaves in their own will, or if they are fired or let go. A reduction of hours worked, transition between jobs, death, divorce, and other major life events. So when big things happen in jobs where you have health insurance coverage, you have the opportunity to continue that coverage if your job is going through significant changes. Next slide. Okay, guys, we really enjoyed talking to you about HIPAA and all of the many details that go along with it. So thank you for your time.
All right. If you want to all go ahead and unmute yourselves, we'll do a quick question and answer and then let you enjoy the rest of your Monday. Okay, so first of all, you all did a really great job. I think HIPAA is one of those important things that you hear a lot when you're working with healthcare. And so just to simplify and make questions a little bit easy here, why do you think HIPAA is such a big deal? Why do you think it's talked about and enforced so much? Why is it so important?
I can go ahead and answer that. I've worked in numerous medical jobs where you are basically handling people's personal lives. You handle all of their personal information, and it's so important because if that information gets out,
people can take advantage of that, in which they can use their information for illegal things, for many things that can cause damage to that person in general in their lives. So it's important that you make sure that you keep your information safe, and that whatever you are giving your information out to, making sure it's in a legal and safe way, as well as if you are working in those industries, that you aren't in breach of HIPAA in any way, and making sure that you keep other people's PHI or personal health information taken care of.
Okay, very good. I think along with that is, I think patients' personal information is really important to them. They see that as their own, and they don't want it to be in hands or other people that don't belong to. A funny story that always comes up to mind whenever I hear these HIPAA presentations. I remember when I was working at a hospital, actually one of the 12 apostles was admitted into our hospital, and a few too many ended up looking them up, look at their records and stuff like that, and their visit and everything. And they actually got punished enough that I believe some of them were even fired for what they did. You know, you probably get a lot of that in LA with celebrities or even neighbors. I thought only in Utah would you do it if you get one of the 12 apostles there, but I thought that was funny. So along with that, what type of punishments are there if HIPAA violations are breached?
Well, I took the medical law and ethics class last semester, and so that really went a lot into HIPAA, and there was a lot of cases where they went actually to court, and companies were sued, practitioners were sued over the release of medical information. And so, you know, it could be small as a reprimand or as big as a lawsuit. You know, someone getting fired, someone being sued. I think it varies depending on the severity, but there's definitely consequences for releasing that information.
And that's definitely true. They'll definitely, HIPAA is just one of those things that you don't want to mess around with, because like you said, it could be something as little as a recommendation. You could even serve jail time with fines as well. One thing that they do look at very closely is intent. There's a lot of information that's being passed from hospital to hospital or from employee to employee. If there's unintentional giving of information that wasn't necessary, that would be something very small. But you know, if you're going into someone's personal EHR or EMR, if they're looking at the information, things that they obviously should not be, then that is where it could be, like you're saying, Ashley, lawsuits, firing, jail time, fines, that type of stuff too. So very good. Is there anything you guys would like to add before I let you go?
I don't think so.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you. Great job. I'll let you enjoy what's left of your Monday. And we'll catch you later. Good job.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.